Welcome back, movie junkies, to another episode of Twin Flicks. Today we have a special movie/Blu-ray review from Arrow Video. If you haven't already, why not consider hitting that subscribe button and you can help this channel grow. So what is today's movie/Blu-ray review from Arrow? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it is none other than 1988's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. This is a Arrow Video Collector's Edition. I'm going to get into my thoughts on the movie itself and a little bit of history of Elvira and the film. So let's get into that.
Movie review.
Now, just in case you didn't grow up in the 80s and you don't know who Elvira is, Cassandra Peterson played this host of horror movies. She was fun, quirky, really charismatic, and for some reason a lot of teenagers and horror gurus loved her. Wonder why. Elvira is one of those names where even if you've never seen the show, you know who she is. And in 1988, Elvira got her own feature film, Elvira Mistress of the Dark. And while it did become a cult classic in its own right, it was not a hit. In fact, it only played in just a handful of theaters, and with a $7.5 million budget, which honestly, it doesn't look like it has a $7.5 million budget, so I'm not exactly sure where that almost $8 million went. But on a $7.5 million budget, not including advertising, it only grossed $5 million. So it didn't even make its money back. It wasn't even close to making its money back. And the film even earned Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, a Razzie nomination for her role as Elvira. But fans of the show loved the film, and it grew in more and more popularity after its release on home video. And when it aired on TV, it even grew more then and became a cult classic. And when it aired on TV, it grew even more, and it quickly earned a prominent spot as an 80s cult classic film. So what did I think of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark? And would I recommend the new Blu-ray from Arrow Video? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm gonna tell you. Now, I remember seeing commercials, trailers, advertisements everywhere for this as a kid. I was a fan of the show, and I was dying to see this movie, mainly because I heard so much about this one scene.
I hope you're hungry, because here's dinner.
Unfortunately, I did not get to see it in the theater because it just wasn't playing in our area, but I do remember renting it when it hit VHS in '89, and even back then, at 12 years old, I knew that this was not a good movie. But it did have its moments, and Elvira is very charming, very quirky, and it does have a lot of fun moments. So how does it fare 32 years later? Well, as I said, I was 12 when I first saw this, and now I'm 42, and yeah, it's still not a good movie. Watching it today, I can see there was a lot of potential with this movie, and they could have taken it someplace really interesting, but it just never really goes there, and it's extremely, very, very dated.
So, how about a blowjob?
Really wake up with a swelling in your pocket, make your eyeballs drop right out to this socket. I'm rough, I'm tough, I'm woman enough, so get ready. I'm gonna do my stuff.
Yeah. But you know, I still had a lot of fun with it. I had a ton of fun watching Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Cassandra as Elvira is still terrific. She's fantastic in this role. Without a doubt, she is the best part of the movie. And without her, obviously there is no movie. And this has lots of nostalgia just plastered all over it. Yeah, I mean, what more could I ask for, really? I'm giving Elvira, Mistress of the Dark a 3.5 out of 5. But now the biggest question is, if you're a fan of the movie, if you had an older Blu-ray version, is the quality of this Blu-ray worth double dipping if you have it already? Or if you don't have it already, is it worth spending the money to pick it up and add it to your collection? We'll find out.
Blu-ray review.
So as I said, Elvira Mistress of the Dark is presented from Arrow Video, and it has a 1.85:1 aspect ratio and a brand spanking new 4K scan restoration. And for the audio, it has a stereo mix, which I'll get into soon. Now, Elvira has had about 1,000 different home media releases, going back to the good old days of VHS and Laserdisc, DVD, and then I believe RLJ released a very lackluster Blu-ray last year, along with some international releases here and there. But it never really got the full Blu-ray treatment that it deserved. That is until Arrow came around and finally gave this movie the Blu-ray treatment. Now this has a new 4K restoration from the original 35mm negative, and it brings this to a whole new level. The 4K restoration completely cleans up every speck of dirt, every debris, along with giving the video a nice, bright, and vibrant presentation. The colors, especially with reds, pop extremely well, and some of the outdoor scenes are fantastic looking with deeply saturated colors and some excellent detail levels. Especially the 4K restoration just really improves the video presentation quality. It was very impressive. Now, how about the audio? Well, honestly, at first I was disappointed to learn that Elvira didn't come with a new 5.1 mix, but when I put this bad boy in and the movie started, I was very surprised by its boisterous PCM 2.0 stereo track mix that is fully capable of supporting some of the fun music cues, as well as the big song and dance number at the end before the credits, and of course the sound effects. Dialogue sounds great as well. It's rendered clearly without any hissing or background hums. I also found the dynamic range is rather wide feeling for this stereo mix. It fills the stereo space, and I found zero audio distortion or dropouts. Guys, Arrow Video did a great job remastering this on all levels with the video presentation and the audio presentation. Alright guys, now let's dig into those extras, and Arrow always delivers, and they delivered with this. We have a director's introduction, which honestly is pretty funny and perfectly sets up the tone of the film. It also includes 3 audio commentary tracks, one from Elvira herself, Cassandra Peterson, Eddie McClurg, and writer John Paragon, and the other 2 are from the director and people from the crew. It also includes a new 2020 feature-length documentary with a slew of interviews with the cast and crew, and it's really more of a retrospective of the making of the movie and their experiences making the movie, and it was a ton of fun to watch. We also have the creation of the Pot Monster featurette with a special effects supervisor talking about the Gonzo food monster sequence, and we have the original theatrical teaser and trailer. Now, the Blu-ray I received from Arrow didn't come with a booklet and didn't come with a slipcover. I'm not sure if those were first pressings only. I'm not sure if the first pressing even included a slipcover, but I do know that it did include a booklet, and I think that was for first pressings only. Obviously, I didn't get that, but of course, per usual, we have a nice reversible sleeve with newly commissioned artwork and also the original artwork. I'm going to give the video a 4.5 out of a 5, the audio a 4 out of a 5, the extras a 5 out of a 5. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. That's the end of our Blu-ray review for Elvira Mistress of the Dark. And also, before you leave, remember to hit that like button, drop your comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps our channel grow, so we appreciate you doing that. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Well, I hope you're hungry, because here's dinner.